It's 13 days to the August 8th general election, and this and every single night we'll try and walk on the campaign trails with the presidential candidates and listen in to what some of them have to say. And we'll have discussions that will probably help Kenyans understand a little bit more about this particular election. And we're calling this the state of the race. We'll do this every single day of the week for you, just to make sure that by the time you get to August 8th, you are very well informed. So in studio, on my right, I have Alex Gatundu, who's a political analyst. Right next to me on my left is Kevin Sowidi, a political analyst as well, and Ambrose Weda, who's also a political analyst. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the state of the race this evening. So I'd like us to start this conversation from the presidential debate with a no-show from President Uhuru Kenyatta. Then we'll have a conversation with the gentlemen in studio.
For Honorable Raila Odinga.
After his main opponent, Jubilee presidential candidate Uhuru Kenyatta failed to show up for the presidential debate, NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga had the podium and the time to himself in a debate moderated by Joe Ageo of KTN News and NTV's Linus Kaikai.
As president, if you get elected, what will be your specific role in the fight against corruption?
That is part of the story. All right, so that is part of the story that was done yesterday by Rita Tinina. Of course, the president did not show up for that particular debate. So let's have a conversation about that here in studio. There has been lots of conversation, especially on social media, and the opinion is divided. Weda, what are your thoughts? The president did not show up. What are your thoughts?
I am one of the people who shared the view that if proper ground rules were laid and there was sincerity, he should have shown up.
Sincerity on whose part?
On the part of those who are masquerading as organizing presidential debate.
Okay.
You get it? Mm-hmm. There were no rules at all. Who was to attend in the audience, how the talking was going to be done, the areas. Take, for instance, the media. It's called Presidential Debate Limited, owned by some certain people who are masquerading as independent and coming in and are known as supporters. In fact, one of them, I'm told, is the director of communications in the NASA secretariat, and she is also the owner, one of the shareholders of Debate Limited.
Did you have a problem with the ownership of the company or how the debate was?
Because the ownership goes into the way it was organized, and then the setup, and then even the questions that were going to be asked. Let's look at even the questions they asked Honorable Raila. Just to see that they were setting up the president for a joke. For instance, a question like Kenyatta family and Odinga family has been holding Kenya's political hostage for years. Yet you know Moi was there for 24 years, Kibaki was there for 24 years. How is such a question? Let me just, number two.
Yeah.
You ask Honorable Raila that your Twitter handle has 1.1 million people and people comment there and you do nothing. Number three, you ask Honorable Raila, you have been running for presidency 4 times. What questions are that? Would you expect a commander-in-chief with the army in Somali fighting to come and be asked such questions?
Kavis, what are your thoughts?
You can't miss the debate, then you come here telling us Raila was asked easy questions.
Yeah.
Have you seen the ones Uhuru was supposed to be asked? Not yet. President Uhuru Kenyatta cannot face Kenyan public in an interrogation in which informed media people were going to interrogate him. That is simple. There is no reason why a sitting president would run away from a debate in which he's going to address 9 million Kenyans just because he thinks the organization is not friendly to him. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya. He would sit there, knowing or not knowing which company organized this. He is going to speak to Kenyans through the same media that covers him every day he walks through.
But Weda says probably there wasn't enough communication on the format.
No, it is President Uhuru Kenyatta that made this debate be postponed And he's the one who made this debate be divided into two. And still, after doing all this in his favor, he still fails to come.
Hold on. Alex,
Of course,
Weda, calm down.
Of course, Obidi is 100% wrong.
Okay.
First and foremost, it was not Uhuru Harun who made this debate to be postponed. It was both of them.
Both sides.
Yes. Let's admit
both sides.
And they had a problem with TOR. They had a problem with the way the arrangement, organization. They had a problem with, in fact, even who are supposed to be moderators. And they even complained that they had not been consulted all along. Of course, you are able to prove to us that consultation was there initially.
Yes.
But it was not consistent and it was not all the way to the end. But to me, that is neither here nor there. The most important thing is this. You have said that Uhuru ran away from the debate. In the contrary, Uhuru has been a champion on international forum.
But this was one forum for him to...
No, let me finish. Let me finish. You remember, he even had accolade at the UN Security Council. He has even addressed leaders who have even approached him, and they have even come to Kenya.
So yes, what was the problem with this particular one?
2013, let's don't forget, even 2013, who led the presidential debate at the exit? It was Uhuru who led. We all know that. So you can't say that he ran away. He did not run away.
What happened?
And what even amazes me is this. If at all Raila and Uhuru, at the initial stages of the whole debate as to whether we should go for the debate or not, were in agreement, what changed? You see, one thing I like about Uhuru, he was very consistent and he was honest. And most people know that he kept his word. Mm-hmm. Because the ground rules did not change, that he is not going to
Okay,
appear.
Alex, let's be sincere.
Yes.
Because initially, when this debate was planned, both Raila and Uhuru said they were not going to show up because a lot of consultation had not been had and they had not really settled on some of the issues. Mm-hmm. Then the organizers of the debate reached out to the campaign teams of both teams and sort of tried to iron out the issues that were outstanding.
No, the issues, let me correct you, reader. The issues were not ironed out because, let's start with the moderators. They were not changed. I mean, we know that. They were not... No, let me finish. You have asked me a question, let me finish. Can I finish?
Finish.
Yes. The moderators were not changed. The TOR were not agreed upon. The terms of reference were not agreed upon. Even... Let's talk about venue. Venue, you cannot change because of the investment, heavy investment. So that one, we can give it to the media.
So you had a problem with the moderators,
yes,
you had a problem
and
with the organizers.
Yes, the TOR, the terms of reference.
Okay.
Even the question was supposed to be asked, you are supposed to generate, even university, you are supposed to generate what is supposed to be the range and the nature of questions. And even you agree on what kind of audience are we supposed to have. Now, remember, even the issue of moderation is the most important issue here. At the end of the day, the moderation, even yesterday, it was quite clear. It was skewed.
Linda.
It is obvious it was.
Those are your
It was
words.
skewed. Do you know what was the first question? The entry point question? It was about opinion poll. For me, that was a very petty question to ask. The most important question that should have been asked from the word go. Talk about security, talk about health.
Okay, hold on.
President Uhuru should have come to answer those petty questions pretty well. This is a man who wants the moderators of just a TV interview to be changed, but cannot accept that Al Ghurair be changed so that we have a free and fair election in this country. And a basic thing, like just an interview, that will not stick on him on the second day, he wants changed. He wants the venue changed. Maybe he wants the debate to be taken to State House.
Even Raila.
No. Raila was there. That is deal done.
Yes.
Weda, what are your thoughts in terms of what not showing up for the debate did for the president? Because we've spoken to a couple of people. Of course, the opinion is divided.
I think now when we see the trick behind it, then it was just God sent that it didn't turn up. It was just such a setup. For instance, let's look at the dishonesty. The president, the State House has clearly said, I am not coming. The media continues to hype and to cheat the public that there are possibilities. The president is coming.
There was no confirmation whatsoever that he was going to show up at any point.
No. He had said clear a week earlier. He said, I am not coming. But you'd see...
But the invitation was open, though.
Please,
you can say
let me say it. Okay. Let me say it. When the President of the Republic of Kenya, the commander of the defense forces who are fighting in Somalia says, I am not coming, then what is this other prediction? Unless it was because these organizers had collected money from advertisers and now they didn't know what to do, so they had done the event. So they keep on. Please allow me to finish. Please.
Okay, finish.
Allow me to finish.
But don't make weird allegations.
So the President says, I'm not coming. Yeah. But they keep on insinuating that he may appear. That was wrong.
Because the invitation was open.
No, the invitation is open. It gets closed the moment the invitee says, I'm not coming.
The invitee,
so they would have been clear.
Whether if the invitee was just any other Kenyan, that would be okay. But this is the President of the Republic
of Kenya. But he said he's not coming.
No. People expect him to be accountable to his...
Please, let's divide this. Alex, I was asked. This is now not... we're not doing or something.
Okay,
allow me to finish. Okay. You know, as a senior lawyer, we don't talk out of turn. We talk in turn.
Okay. The moment, learned friend.
Yes, the moment the President said, I'm not coming, the media should have been clear. We invited the President. The last word we got from him is that he's not coming. But if he changes his mind, the invitation is still open. They didn't do that. They kept on pretending he's coming. So, and then if you saw even the questions they were asking, you get it? And it appears that coached Baba. And Baba would be it would be Joe. Joe, even if he's told, he's not
Why
Joe.
Did I have a feeling that was going to come up at some point?
Joe. But my worry about it, what is said, is the circus that arose from the questions. In fact, if President Uhuru was to be there to answer those basic pedestrian questions.
What sort of questions were you expecting?
No. Let me answer that.
Yes.
I expected on this side them to ask Honorable Raila Odinga, you have been talking about the debt the question. Can you explain what your problems are and what you will do with it that Kenya has overborrowed? Now, I expected them to ask the President when he comes that you have borrowed this money, you have put it in the railway, tell us how it's going to pay back. Tell us the debt questions.
Did you get an indication that maybe they were not going to ask the President that?
Because they did what they asked Raila, Honorable Raila, were basic pedestrian questions, personal issues which do not concern
Let me help Ambrose,
Linda. My learned friend. Okay.
Yes. Let me help the learned friend. First of all, you see this hyping that was running. It takes a lot of effort to make that
thing. There is no effort.
It takes a lot of effort to make those adverts. And that advert had run because it was in common, it was in everybody's knowledge that President Uhuru even postponed the Samburu visit. You know that about...
Okay, listen.
Wait. No, please. Let me talk. You will get your chance to talk and you can use it to laugh also. And President Uhuru Kenyatta had organized his own interview on Facebook on a Sunday morning when everybody has gone to church, which attracted only 2,000 people. And here is him running away from 9 million Kenyans just so that he is not brought to account. Even this is the area you're talking about here. This thing costed us 327 billion, and it is only raising revenue, forget about minus the expenditure, 1 billion a year. It means we are going to need 300 years.
I must have a second.
To pay it.
I must have a second on that. I might have a second on that.
We're not going to talk on one thing.
Okay, I might have a second on that. He has talked about Uhuru engaging the public on Facebook.
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
2,000 people.
Raila did not appear at Uhuru Park during the prayer meeting for peace during election.
Yes, he
did not appear. He did not appear.
Had his own
that was worse.
Guys, how much of an opinion changer is a presidential debate, Alex?
If you ask me, let's be true and honest to Kenyans. After 60 days have lapsed, when you start the countdown toward the general election, by that time, all the positions as to where and how people are going to vote, especially on presidential elections, they have been solidified. People right now have already made up their mind. So the value of a presidential debate is only good to the extent that you want to account to people, first, if you are the incumbent, what you have done with the 4 years so far for Uhuru, and for Raila, what you have done as the leader of the opposition because both of them are accountable equally.
There's no leader of the
same
opposition in
extent
Kenya and Katiba anywhere, when you are a lawyer.
Okay.
There's nothing like that in the 2010 Constitution.
Okay, listen. So there's a guy on Twitter, he's called Michael Mugo. He says, I'm not Kenyan, I'm Nigerian, but don't be surprised if President Kenyatta wins. In Nigeria, Buhari did not show up, he won. Goodluck Jonathan did not show up, he won. Obasanjo did not show up, he won. Not only that, Museveni of Uganda did not show up, he won. Let's leave Africa. Theresa May of UK did not show up, and she won. When people's minds are made up, it is as good as final. An example is Trump versus Clinton.
Exactly my point.
Do you agree? Covens.
Let me tell you, my dearest, if you look at the social media, the people who attacked Uhuru and changed their minds were many more than the 2,000 who watched his self-made interview where he was having a monologue.
About people on social media just posting stuff.
No, but if Uhuru was using the social media, why can't I also use the social media?
Okay, Weda, how much of...
a well-organized and honest presidential debate has a lot of value.
Like this one.
A circus like the one that was
Can you
organized,
please stop referring to it as a circus? Weda.
that one has very little value in
Okay.
a country where Owede is supporting Baba because he's a fellow Luo. I'm the only one, and he's supporting Uhuru because he's a fellow
I'm
Kikuyu.
not supporting Uhuru.
But
In a country where people who are
is not
independent
supporting
minded, allow
Baba.
me to finish. People who are independent minded and courageous like Weda are few, but they've already made up their mind. So debate, whether Baba debates or it doesn't, it's a monologue. It is for now. That one, the circus did not.
Okay, so
we will not go into a history with Baba.
As we wrap this conversation up, in the interest of clarity, I'd like to make it very clear, absolutely clear.
Yes.
And if you need me to give you documents to show this, I will.
Yes.
Debates Media Limited is owned by media houses, not individuals.
The
company that organized the debate, it is owned by media houses,
and that's why
not individuals.
Whatever it is, they have, the media houses are companies, but the directors must be human beings. Those human beings
But it's wrong
are the
to
ones,
insinuate.
please, as a lawyer now, you are going into the legal domain. The directors must be human beings, and the human beings are the ones who are in it, but they're also director of communication in NASA.
In the interest of clarity, I need to wrap this conversation. Debates Media Limited is owned by media houses, not individuals.
But the
so
directors,
that is clear.
the individual directors,
Linda,
human beings.
Linda,
that is clear.
it is these same media houses that Jubilee cries every day that is not giving them enough coverage.
I think we are,
when they are going to be covered,
the issue.
talking to Kenyans, they refuse.
Extrapolating the issue unnecessarily.
Alex, listen. So President Uhuru Kenyatta today, while campaigning in Nyeri, basically made it clear that he has zero regrets for not attending the presidential debate. As a matter of fact, he thanked his God for not attending that particular debate. Could we listen to what he had to say in Nyeri today?
In which language?
Hold on, Covens.
Yake ni mabishano, yake ni consultation. Alafu jana sijui kama mlisikia na nilicheka. Jana anasema ya kwamba ati ufisadi ulikuwa unaendelea, lakini yeye hangefanya chochote kwa sababu alikuwa coordinator peke yake. Hiyo ni modo wa kudepora. Yeah. Derano yendraya ndio gari imekuja na digari.
Alex, towards the end, what is he saying?
You see that?
Did you hear?
I didn't hear.
Aye, Alex, want me to read?
Alex, interpret, please.
Okay, so the president says he has no apologies to make. Basically, there's no regret. And at some point, he also spoke in Kikuyu, and he said he thanks God that he did not take part in that debate. Weda,
Yes.
as the president of the Republic of Kenya, when millions of people are expecting him to show up for the debate, I know you have your reservations about the debate, but what does that say about the president when he said, and he actually made specific reference to the media, and he said they did not support me in 2013, basically rubbishing the whole process. What are your thoughts?
I think I still say that if it was a well-organized and sincere debate, it would have been good for democracy in this country. It would have been good for the president to attend. But this one, the setup that this one was, the trick that this one was, the conspiracy that it was good he did not attend. Even Baba, who attended, who should have had a chance now to explain where it's going to take us to the double-digit economy, good things. They went on asking him very basic pedestrian questions about Twitter, about contesting 4 times, about nominating his relatives in his office. How would we spend valuable international time asking him when he was prime minister?
Okay,
but we don't know that he agreed.
I think what I'm looking at is the president's response to not attending that debate. What is
he only said? I think the president said that he is happy that he didn't attend.
Yeah.
But he was watching. By the time he was watching, maybe he was looking at it and saying, let's see the outcome, and then I would regret or celebrate. After the outcome, it was a cause for celebration because it turned out to be a joke.
You know why Ambrose is saying the questions were easy?
Because not easy, ridiculous.
Raila Odinga handled those questions so well that impressed every... I was following this thing. I had a laptop here, an iPad here, and the TV.
Did you have a problem with the questions?
I had no problem. In fact, they were the best questions that could be asked. You see, who you require as the President of the Republic of Kenya is somebody who has the goodwill to provide Kenya with good leadership. Because the president doesn't have to be a technocrat. He is not going to do each and everything. He's not going to be the chief justice. He's not going to be the chief engineer. He's going to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. Those were the best questions anybody could be asked. The only sour grapes we have here is because they were handled very well by the person who went until they were wishing President Uhuru was at the debate.
Alex.
Which you're thinking, that's all I have to say for most important thing. Yeah. Let's be fair to Uhuru. Let's be fair to him. Honestly speaking, by the time the whole debate was being wrapped up, we all knew. By the way, even the word manifesto was not mentioned, if I'm not wrong. If my memory serves me right, the word NASA manifesto was not mentioned. Raila was not interrogated on his manifesto, his vision for this country, even in terms of what he has been complaining about throughout the country. We're talking about security. Those issues were not raised. Correct me. Issues about health, they were not raised. Correct me if I'm not wrong.
So in your view, listen, Alex, so in your view, the issues that you think are pertinent were not addressed?
At all.
Okay.
So if they were going to run for 3 hours, we would have raised all that.
I remember, these gentlemen are being unfair to me in terms of time. They're taking too much time. Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you. How relevant? No, let me ask you. How relevant is the issue of opinion poll? The issue of
because it touches on Kenyans.
No. The issue of when you are prime minister. The issue of when Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi. All those things.
Hold on, Alex.
All those questions are very relevant.
Alex,
because currently, as we are speaking.
Alex, I'm moderating this conversation.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. So a day before that, the president had a session on Facebook with Kenyans where he addressed the issues that they had.
Yes.
And there are those who argue that, the president already has answered all the questions that Kenyans had.
Yes.
So there was really no need for him to come for the debate. Whether?
No, that would be a fallacious argument in my view. There are still so many questions a candidate would need to answer. And I must agree with you.
For once.
Baba himself answered the questions very well. I was fairly impressed by his answers, although it is only that they were pedestrian questions.
In your view?
But when asking Baba about his Twitter handle.
Okay,
but anyway,
move on.
So there are several issues that the president would be put to articulate. When he was also in the social media, you know, the social media is the one who goes to the social media, where there are everybody. And you can see some people asking him, how did you meet the First Lady?
He actually answered that.
He answered that out of courtesy. But when now we are talking about a presidential debate, where you are talking about commander-in-chief of the defense forces fighting in Somalia and other countries, then those would become pedestrian questions. Questions like your Twitter handle, your...
Okay,
so there are issues that the president needs to answer.
Opinion is divided. According to you, those are pedestrian questions. According to Kavins, they were amazingly good questions. And Raila
taking the kind of the next level.
And Raila Odinga ended up answering them so well.
Yes.
Type of, okay, yeah. You're also not very impressed with the kind of questions that were asked.
No, the relevant questions were not asked, especially for the current situation in the country, where we need to address issues. And I believe that the president is addressing them.
Linda.
Coming to get the final word, 30 seconds.
I watched the last debate. There was an opportunity for the candidates to ask each other one question each. President Uhuru Kenyatta should have come with those nice questions of his and asked Raila Odinga. In fact, knowing that there would only be two of them, he should have come with those questions written for him by Ambrose Weda to come with them and place them to Raila Odinga.
No, we have a very intelligent, the last time they met,
those non-special questions, Uhuru Kenyatta should have brought them to Raila and asked him.
The last time they met, at a serious debate, fairly organized, and one was Prime Minister and one was out. The Prime Minister was flawed. So question of whether or not,
guys,
the President is an economist. The other one is
whether.
So knowing that the guy you flawed is now coming, he should come. But he knew he was not only going to be asked questions by the guy he flawed. The media was also going to ask him to account for what he has done in 2.5 years.
All right, people, this is NASA. Whether we agreed, we are learned friends. We talk when you're supposed to talk. All right, you're watching State of the Race on KTN News. We're looking at what has happened in the last day or so. And like I mentioned, we'll do this with you. 13 days to the general election. We'll touch on the campaign trail. So now, allow me to take a break. I'll be back in a short while.